The United States is currently facing a level of existential peril that we haven't seen since the darkest days of the 1940s. And the people in charge are not just incompetent, they are actively working against the interests of the American citizen. My name is Kash Patel. I've run the intelligence oversight for the president. I've served as the chief of staff at the Department of Defense. And I have seen the classified documents that the deep state bureaucrats are currently trying to shred. What I'm about to reveal to you tonight is a story of betrayal, economic sabotage, and a military disaster that the mainstream media is desperate to hide until the body bags start coming home. Right now, a rogue shadow government within the Pentagon and the CIA has bypassed the U.S. Congress to launch a radioactive suicide mission in the Middle East. They have committed our elite Rangers, our SEAL teams, and the 82nd Airborne to a conflict that they have already lost control of on the ground. And while they tell you on cable news that everything is under control, I'm here to tell you that tonight, every single claim of victory coming out of the White House has been proven to be a cold-blooded lie. We are 1 month into a war that American military planners have completely lost the grip on, and the reality on the ground bears zero resemblance to the sanitized propaganda you are being fed. But before we dive into the classified details of this radioactive heist, you need to understand one thing. The algorithms and the tech giants are trying to bury this channel. They don't want you to know the truth about the oil, the debt, or the military failures, because a terrified and uninformed public is easier to control. If you want to stand with the patriots, if you want to support independent intelligence that refuses to bow to the establishment, you must hit that subscribe button right now. Do not wait for the news to break on the legacy networks. By then, your bank account will be empty and the borders will be gone. Subscribe now, share this video, and check the link below to help us stay independent. We are the last line of defense against the propaganda machine. Now let's talk about the radioactive heist. My sources inside the Pentagon are confirming a plan so poorly thought out, it borders on criminal negligence. The administration is ordering our special forces to fly hundreds of miles into hostile Iranian airspace through active S-400 surface-to-air missile batteries and next-generation drone swarms to physically seize nearly 1,000 pounds of weapons-grade uranium. We are talking about extracting 50 specialized cylinders, each the size of a scuba tank, requiring heavy radiation shielding and a fleet of heavy trucks. This isn't a surgical strike, it's a planned occupation of a sovereign nation. To pull this off, our troops would have to hold Iranian territory for weeks, absorbing constant casualties while combat engineers try to build makeshift runways under live fire. It is a death sentence for our operators, and the military-industrial complex knows it. And why are they doing it? The president let the cat out of the bag this weekend. He openly admitted his real goal is to seize the oil. He's talking about taking Karg Island, the single most important oil export terminal in the region. He's comparing his vision for Iran to our posture toward Venezuela, claiming he can achieve total subjugation of a nation of 90 million people very, very easily. It is a level of strategic arrogance that would be laughable if it weren't so dangerous. While the White House projects total victory, the reality is that we have already destroyed 13,000 targets, most of which are embedded in civilian population centers. We are killing innocent children with Tomahawk missiles, and the administration is treating it like a line item on a spreadsheet. The situation in the Strait of Hormuz is even more catastrophic. The president stood in front of the cameras and claimed the U.S. Navy is escorting tankers and has total dominance over the waterway. That was a blatant, verifiable lie. I have seen the naval tracking data. Those tankers were Pakistani vessels, and they were being escorted by the Iranian Navy. There are 0 American naval escorts operating safely in that waterway right now. Iran doesn't just contest the strait, they control it. Even Secretary of State Marco Rubio is privately warning G7 allies that the end result of this conflict will be the entire global economy paying a transit toll to Tehran just to move cargo through the Persian Gulf. This is the complete collapse of American deterrence. The war has already metastasized across the entire Arabian Peninsula. We've seen Iranian strikes hit Kuwaiti desalination plants, an attack on the basic life support infrastructure of a sovereign country. Bahrain has been hit. Massive plumes of black smoke are hanging over Abu Dhabi and Dubai. The Houthis are launching missile barrages in full coordination with Tehran. And in Iraq, our bases are being systematically dismantled. Shia militias, operating with the open backing of the Iraqi government, are using FPV kamikaze drones to destroy our C-130 transport aircraft and advanced surveillance planes right on the tarmac. We are losing irreplaceable hardware every single day, and the White House is responding with silence and more debt. Let's look at what this is doing to your wallet. Brent crude oil has spiked past $114 a barrel, and WTI has smashed through $100. The analysts I talk to, the ones who aren't on the government payroll, are warning that $200 oil is no longer a worst-case scenario. It is a mathematical certainty if this continues. Your national debt crossed $39 trillion 2 weeks ago and is on track to hit $40 trillion within months. We are spending hundreds of billions of dollars on a war that has no exit strategy, while American families are being squeezed at the gas pump, the grocery store, and the housing market simultaneously. This isn't just a recession, this is a Great Depression, engineered by the very people who claim to be protecting the global order. And where is the president? While the world was burning this weekend, he was on the golf course. Taxpayers have now spent over $100 million funding his golf trips during this term alone. When he did appear, it was aboard Air Force One, trying to calm the markets with fake peace deal claims that were immediately debunked. Institutional investors aren't buying the lies anymore. They saw him showing off photos of his new golden ballroom while our sailors were in the crosshairs of hypersonic missiles. The disconnect from reality is pathological. The Iranian military's response has been brutal. Their spokesperson announced today that in retaliation for civilian strikes, they will now target residential areas where U.S. and Israeli commanders are located. They are going after commercial hotels. Our universities in Qatar are fleeing. 13 of our military bases across the Gulf have been abandoned because we simply cannot defend them against the drone swarms. Iranian state media is mocking us, running videos of our destroyed AWACS planes, the eyes and ears of our military, sitting in pieces on a runway in Saudi Arabia. Even the most loyal pro-administration media outlets are starting to fracture. People who have spent years defending this establishment are now calling out the cognitive dissonance required to believe that this war is a flawless strategic success. It's not a victory lap, it's a suicide pact. The Iranians have laid out their preconditions for any talks, and they are designed to humiliate the United States on the world stage. They want full financial reparations, binding security guarantees, a permanent ceasefire for their proxies, a formal public apology from the president, and the complete withdrawal of all U.S. bases from the Middle East. And they've stated clearly they will never give up their nuclear program because this war has proven to them exactly why they need a deterrent. The next 48 to 72 hours will determine the fate of the next century. This isn't just a local conflict, it's a global realignment. Russia and China are watching our every move, and they are preparing to fill the vacuum we are leaving behind. If the administration orders this ground invasion, if they proceed with this radioactive heist, there is no off-ramp. We will be locked in a multi-front global war that will hit your bank account, your energy grid, and your family. They want you to stay distracted. They want you focused on the latest social media outrage or the latest manufactured political drama. But the truth is leaking out through the whistleblowers inside the Pentagon who are fed up with the lies. The patriots inside the intelligence community are handing over the evidence. We are going to continue to name names. We are going to continue to expose the bureaucrats who are getting rich off the blood of our soldiers. I'm telling you again, the only way we keep this channel alive is if you stand with us. This is the front line of the information war. You need to be informed, you need to be prepared, and you need to be subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next classified update, because the situation is moving faster than the government can cover it up. Share this video with every person who still thinks the evening news is telling them the truth. The storm is here, the deep state is in a panic, and they are terrified that you are starting to see the man behind the curtain. Stay vigilant, stay focused, and keep fighting for the truth. This is Kash Patel, and I will be back as soon as the next set of classified documents hits my desk. Subscribe now, and let's hold these people accountable before it's too late.